What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and in this video we're going to be taking a detailed look at Bixby Voice on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. This is a video that a lot of you guys have asked me for. If you're not interested in Bixby, then come back for the next video. So Bixby is Samsung's very own AI assistant. You've also got Bixby Vision, but in this video we're specifically going to be looking at Bixby Voice. Now, to start with, looking at how you can launch Bixby Voice, there's two main ways to do it. One is with the voice action, which is, "Hi Bixby, what's the weather like today?"
Wednesday looks like it will be a cloudy day with a high of 18.
So that's a very basic action, but you saw the phrase was "Hi Bixby" to launch it, and it does it again. And there is also another way, and that is with this dedicated button here on the left below the volume rocker. Now this is the same with the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, which also do support Bixby, and a single press of this button takes you to the Bixby home screen. And as of yesterday, you can disable that, by the way. You still cannot remap it. But to use it with Bixby Voice, you simply need to press and hold and then give it your voice action and then let go. So it's kind of like a walkie-talkie. So you just press, say what you need to, and then let go. So let's just try an action here. Open the camera in Pro mode.
All set. We're in Pro mode now.
Now this is the method that I actually use most with Bixby, so I don't have to keep saying the voice action to launch it. And this is also quite useful if you're in, say, a crowded place or something, and it might be difficult for the voice assistant to kind of figure out when you start talking, when you stop talking. So this is quite an easy way to do that. And also when you're talking, you can just have your phone up near your ear, and then you can just press and hold, do the voice action, let go. I actually think it's quite a good way to interact with the voice assistant, so you don't have to keep saying the launch phrase, which I'm not going to be saying throughout this video, otherwise we're just going to keep getting the launches. Another thing you would have noticed is that we completed an action that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do on another voice assistant, and that is because Bixby is integrated within the system and lets you take actions deep within apps. Now, this is something that I personally really do like, and that is because I have never really been a heavy voice assistant user. Now, the reason for this is I've always said that if it's easier for me to do something with touch compared to doing it with voice, then I'd rather just do it with touch because it's quicker, unless I need my hands free, for instance, when I'm driving or anything like that. But because of the deep actions that you can take with Bixby, it can be much quicker than using touch. So let me give you another example here. Something that I do whenever I buy a new device or change onto a new device is switch off keyboard vibration. It's just something that's a personal preference for me. Normally, you'd have to go into settings. I've got general management here, language and input, on-screen keyboard. We'll go for the Samsung keyboard because that's what the default one is here. And then we'll have to go into key tap feedback and switch on or off the vibration here. Now, that was multiple steps and I kind of knew where I was going. If you didn't know where you're going, then you'd have to probably do a search on the settings or something like that. Again, it would take quite a few touches to get to there. Now, with the Bixby Voice, you can just do this. Switch off keyboard vibration.
All set. I've turned it off.
There you go. Now, this to me is really cool because I can do actions that would have taken me longer to do via touch, and instead I can do those with voice very quickly. Now, in addition to that, you can also take further actions. Once again, this is something that currently I don't think you can do on other voice assistants. So, for instance, you can go into the Play Store and install an app, open the Play Store and install Periscope.
All right, I'm downloading it.
So there you go, it's done that and it's now downloading Periscope. I actually don't use Periscope much, so I realized that's something that's not currently installed on this Note 8, and I just thought I'd use it as an example. But once again, really quick and easy to go ahead and do this action, which would have taken a little bit longer on touch. Now let's move on to another feature, which is quick commands. This is something else that I quite like. In a nutshell, quick commands are basically a group of commands which you can assign to a single phrase, and it's gonna do those all for you. So as an example, good night.
Okay, it's on. Done. The blue light filter is on now. Okay, alarm set for 600 hours. All done.
So as you saw there, I have assigned a quick command of good night to put on do not disturb, switch on my blue light filter, and put an alarm on at 6 a.m. And just by saying good night, it completed all of those actions. That to me is really, really cool. Now, obviously, this is just one of many examples. You could have another one as well. Good morning.
Sure, the blue light filter is now off. Okay, it's off. All done.
So as you saw there, we've got two simple quick commands, good night and good morning. Again, you could assign whatever you want to this. And even if it's a single action, which you maybe just want to assign a single phrase to rather than giving it a full instruction, then again, that is something that you can do with quick commands. Now with Bixby, as with some of the voice assistants, it does understand context. So it'll know where you are when you ask it to do something. So for instance, if you've got an image open and you want to maybe draw on top of this, you could just say, let's draw on this image.
Okay, let's draw here.
And then you can just take out your S Pen, and I would have given myself a mustache, but I kind of already have one, but you get the point. Now, obviously it would have been easier for me to just open the editor on there, but it was just a quick example to show you the context. Now you can actually take that context further, and it's going to know your location and things like that if you enable it to. So for example, if you're out shopping or something and you just park your car and want to remember where you've parked, you could just do this. Remind me this is where I've parked.
For sure, I've memorized where you parked for later.
And then when you finish shopping, for instance, you could just go into your reminders and then go into your parking location, and it's going to show you where you parked. Another example here, remind me to call my brother when I get home.
Got it. I'll remind you about that.
Cool, so now it's going to remind me when I get home because it's going to know my location. So when I do return home, it's going to give me a reminder to call my brother. And again, another quite interesting feature here, which is going to use context to give you useful assistance. Now there is also all of your stuff which you may have seen on other voice assistants. So tell me a joke.
What did one wall say to the other wall? We'll meet at the corner.
If you're into that kind of stuff, you can also ask Bixby to rap for you. Rap for me.
Dropping mad rhymes is my speciality. Check it out. I'm an AI. Spitting raps on the fly. Need emojis? I got an endless supply. No task I can't handle, cause that's just what I do. I'm your prime time. Fine wine. Bixby guru. Cause I'm your right sidekick. Second to none. So let me hear your voice and watch me get things done.
Okay. Once again, if you're into that kind of thing. You can also set a voice password for Bixby if your device is locked. So if your device is locked, it'll do some of the simple actions like open the camera and take a picture and things. But if you do want to do a more complicated action like something in the settings, then you can use your voice password if your hands are not free. So let's just try that here. Hi Bixby. What's my next appointment?
Tell me your voice password to continue.
Yo Bixby. So I actually kept it something simple like Yo Bixby. Obviously you could use whatever you like. Now voice passwords are obviously not the most secure methods of unlocking your phone, but it is there if you'd like to use. Now in terms of which apps are supported, pretty much all of your standard Samsung apps, including all of your settings and things, that's all supported on here. But you can also switch on Bixby Labs, and this is where Bixby is going to experiment with some new apps. And these apps are sort of in beta at the moment. So you've got things like WhatsApp, YouTube, Facebook, and more of these apps will be supported as time goes on. Now, because it is an AI assistant, the more you use it, the more it's going to learn from you. And Bixby Voice currently is supported in quite a few countries. I think there's over 100 countries where it's currently supported. and it will be supported in more countries as it goes on. So guys, that is a detailed run through of Bixby Voice on the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. As I mentioned, this is the same on the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, and will be supported on other Samsung devices. Now, in terms of my opinions on it, as mentioned earlier on in the video, for me, a voice assistant needs to be easier for me to complete actions with voice rather than touch. If it's easier for me to do something on touch, then I am not really going to be using the voice assistant as much unless my hands need to be free when I'm driving or something, and I'm not driving too often. So this is something that I do like about Bixby, that you can complete lots of deep actions which you currently can't do on other voice assistants. Maybe we'll be getting more of those features on other voice assistants later on. But right now, some of these things you can only do on Bixby, which I do like, and especially things like quick commands, I find very, very useful. So what do you guys think of Bixby Voice after watching this video? Definitely drop me a comment below and let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. If you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and switch on notifications. There's plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV. I'll see you next time.